To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
It's a beautiful Saturday once again as the Kingdom Report signs on for an all-new broadcast. Hello, everybody. Wade Heath joining you here from the Kingdom Report Live studios in beautiful Burbank, California, where we come to you with all the Disney Parks news and discussion you could possibly want. In fact, there's so much to get to yet again that we are just going to dive into it. But who is we? Well, it's your trusted theme park perspective panel from AttractionFaction.net, contributors Tyler Crouch and Katrina Manzone.
Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday.
Hey, everyone. It is nice to be back once again. Thanks
Happy
for having us.
belated birthday to you and to Curt.
Oh, yeah. How exciting.
Woo!
Their birthdays that we just found out are on the same day
I know.
on June 11th.
How crazy is that?
So happy birthday, Curt, and
Oh.
happy belated birthday to Tyler and you.
I had no idea we were birthday twins, so I'm super excited.
I'm excited about it.
Dual birthday magic is what we call that. And
Yes.
to the two of you, congratulations on another older year.
Thank you. I had a couple gray hairs, couple new gray hairs came out, but you know, I'm holding up.
But you know what? Far less now that you have received a haircut there, sir. Congratulations.
I know. And see, I was birthday twins with Curt, but I'm haircut twins with Wade. Congratulations on your haircut as well, sir.
There is
Yay.
nothing that means more to me than those words from you. And a very happy late birthday.
Thank you. That is very kind.
Absolutely.
It's getting so emotional right now.
Someone's unbirthday. It's our Walt Disney World reporter, Gared Hassel. Hello there. Did you get a haircut
How's it
too?
going? Oh, you know I did, because this is my moneymaker right here. But so both their birthdays are on the 11th, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
My birthday is March 11th. So
Whoa.
we're at least, yeah. So that's nothing really great, but I figure 11. Woo!
Wait,
Prime
March?
number power.
Yeah. And
That's
my
when
mom's
my-
birthday is May 11th. So it's like, what's up with
What?
11?
Wow.
Way to connect those
Wade,
dots.
when's your birthday?
The 19th of July. So
Oh, that's not exciting.
Almost.
You're close. We're going to celebrate you next.
zeroing in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one day soon. And the man with the haircut that doesn't exist, but the birthday that does, it's producer Curt.
Why, hello, Wade. Thank you.
Producer
I have
Curt, a very happy birthday to you. And what are we sipping out of
What?
this week?
What?
Wow.
It makes noises.
Unreal.
What is this?
Is that an R2 sipper?
Why, yes, it is.
Tell me about
From-
this R2
from-
sipper.
From Galaxy's Edge, actually, on the, opening,
A
time.
droid in there.
I didn't know
for
they had
me.
those.
Yeah, Wade didn't either. I don't know. Were they just the one day I happened to go?
Maybe they sold out really quick.
Wait, in Galaxy's Edge?
Yeah.
Right?
It lights
have
up.
droids?
I can't imagine them having this.
It says,
Because-
Does it
landing.
light up too?
That's pretty fancy.
Of course,
my
it flashes
goodness.
because, everything has to flash at Disneyland.
That's right.
The best. Yeah, I'm not going to make a joke about that.
I
What
can't.
kind of joke would that be?
Yeah, is it appropriate?
I'm not going to make that joke. It's not happening.
Oh,
It's obviously from all the camera flashes because Disney takes lots of photos.
Gared got it right on the nose.
that's what I was
Gotcha.
thinking too. Well, we are happy to have a special R2 sipper aboard
That just makes it so much better.
for this momentous occasion. Thank you for that.
R2.
Big news, though, this week as we dive in. Disneyland Resort has officially announced that they are coming back to life for the first time since the global pandemic shut it down. As we all have heard by now, hopefully, Downtown Disney District will return on July the 9th, and Disneyland's theme parks, Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, will be returning July the 17th, the anniversary of Disneyland, to be, I guess, symbolic as well as poetic. Tell me, Gared Hassel, July 17th, big anniversary day. Are you surprised to see Disneyland announcing they are reopening then?
I thought you were first going to ask me if I was going to be there. But I'm a little shocked just because July 17th, it's a big day. Of course, everyone wants to celebrate the 65th anniversary of the happiest place on earth. But I'm a little shocked. I thought it was going to be a lot later because like Walt Disney World, they waited a full month before announcing. Walt Disneyland's like, yeah, we'll be doing this in like a couple days. Don't worry about it. We'll get it going. So it seems a little rushed, but you know what? The Magic's reopening coast to coast now in that one weekend, the 15th through. I'm excited about that. I'm ready to see some magic going on because Disneyland is my home park. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Disneyland's my home park, and I love it so much. I'm truly jealous of those that get to go on Indiana Jones adventures.
The Big 6-5 is the anniversary this July 17th. We are thrilled to see Disneyland be returning, even in the middle of still dealing with a pandemic from coast to coast. And I know that Walt Disney World coming back on July the 11th. Katrina, you were one that was definitely sort of struggling with that idea of like, well, Disney can't open in like the same week, coast to coast, right? It's going to be chaos. It's going to be hard to control. It's going to be hard to maintain. And even that morning, as a matter of fact, when they had made the announcement, that morning, one of the local unions for Disneyland with all their cast members were giving an update saying Disney hasn't committed to a timeline yet. Disneyland doesn't really know when it's going to be reopening. But here are some of the things that we are going to put into effect for when things do come back online, likely by the end of summer. It was looking very much like a Disneyland reopening was going to happen maybe towards the end of summer, even beginning of fall. July 17th, what do you think?
I think it's nuts. I mean, again, I think of, we were all talking about it and like, people were saying, wouldn't it be cool if they opened for the anniversary? And I was like, I think that's insane. Why would you do this? There'd be so many people that love Disney that can't wait to go back that are going to, again, they're going to have the reservation system. So they're not going to like bum rush Disney. But again, there are going to be people that are going to try to like, be outside Disneyland, be at Disney, downtown Disney. And so I just feel like that's like a huge day for things to open where, I'm thinking more of like the cast.
Sure.
Like I feel really bad for the cast that aren't really ready to go back because Disney World doesn't even know what it's going to be like yet. They're just going to be opening up on the 11th. So they're really going to have 6 days to figure out if this is going to work or not on the reservation system, on how many people to be let in, how this is all going to work out. And it's a lot, and I know a lot of cast members are worried. And at first I know like, it's kind of crazy how like Disney was like, oh, we're not going to open on the 17th or not. And then next thing you know, the cast members are like, oh, okay, cool. They're not going to open up on their anniversary. But then here they are like, hey, we're going to open up on our anniversary. Surprise!
It's happening after all.
And it's, and it's just, I just feel really bad for those cast members where, now they're not put in harm's way, but, they just...
Put in harm's way.
That's
what it is.
In harm's way. Yeah. I just feel really bad for them. I know they're not ready, but I know they want to go back to work and they want to bring back the magic. But I just feel like it's too soon.
And we definitely heard, as you had mentioned there, the reservation system going to be in place for this rollout of a phased reopening, much like we have seen them do with Shanghai Disneyland, and then, of course, what will be happening for Walt Disney World coming back online. The company has released the following in terms of the reservation system, and something that we also predicted was going to happen for Disneyland. They say, pending state and local government approvals, Disneyland Park and California Adventure Park will begin a phased reopening on July 17th, 2020. The Disneyland Resort will reopen with some important updates to promote physical distancing, including park reservations. Because theme park capacity will be significantly limited to comply with governmental requirements and promote physical distancing, we will manage attendance through a new theme park reservation system that will including annual pass holders to obtain a reservation for park entry in advance. Theme park reservations will be subject to availability. More details about this new reservation system will be available soon. They also say for new ticket sales, at this time, we are also temporarily pausing new ticket sales and annual passport sales and renewals. Additional details will be provided soon. And then, of course, with the hotels of the Disneyland Resort, they are coming on a little bit later in terms of the scheduled phased reopenings, saying that pending government approval, Disneyland Resort hotel guests will once again enjoy being immersed in the magic when Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa and Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel and Disney Vacation Club Villas at the Grand reopen to guests and members starting on July 23rd, several days after the theme parks reopen. The Disneyland Hotel will open at a later date and plans to support physical distancing as well as increased cleaning measures, along with a number of other health and safety protocols will be implemented as part of the phased reopening of our hotels and Disney Vacation Club. So, Tyler, we hear there that when it comes to annual passports, something that has been the life force for Disneyland for a number of years, number of decades now, the majority of people that seem to visit Disneyland and make up the bulk of their attendance have long been annual pass holders, locals here in Southern California. Knowing that they are now committing to not renewing anytime soon those annual passports, and that there's going to be reservations that will be required of both annual pass holders as well as theme park ticket holders. Is that something that you think is going to deter people from visiting?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, it will probably, but I mean, you know, there's so many things that are there to deter people from visiting right now. I can't see how else they're going to do this. I feel like they can't see how else they would do it. So it's kind of the lesser of all the evils. I feel like it, no matter what, there's going to be some type of inconvenience when it comes to this whole coronavirus thing. But that's just what we got to do to keep people safe. So I definitely see it deterring people from coming back, especially if they're going to, not have the fireworks and not have parades and things. It's like, a lot of people are going to be feeling like they're paying for a product that is going to be lesser, and that's their right to think that. But I've always been one that I think that just the health of people is the most important part. So I'm if we have to lose a little bit of Disney magic for a while, I can swallow that pill, and because I just want people to be safe.
Absolutely, and safety being the key ingredient here with all these theme parks reopening, not just Disney, but we've also seen SeaWorld, Universal Orlando, lots of different major theme parks coming back online and sort of restarting their engine, as it were. It also says here from the Disney company that additionally select attractions and certain experiences that draw large group gatherings, such as parades and nighttime spectaculars, as you had mentioned, Tyler, will return at a later date. And while character meet and greets will be temporarily unavailable, characters will be in our parks, they say, in new ways to entertain and delight our guests. The Disneyland Resort will also have capacity measures in place, as well as limitations on parking and operating hours. So we've already seen with Walt Disney World's sort of planned phased reopening that park hours are already dramatically reduced in scope, likely to be carrying over here to Disneyland as well. Very interesting, though, I jump back to the hotel aspect of this, where we see the Grand Californian is reopening, the Paradise Pier Hotel is reopening. The Disneyland Hotel was not even in the original announcement in terms of image, and they only called out the other two hotels, but not the namesake hotel. Katrina, what do you make of that? I think it's very odd that they're going gangbusters, reopening everything, except for that one hotel that bears the name of the whole resort.
Right? They said it was going to open up at a later date, but Tyler and I were joking around being like, they're not opening it because too many people are going to try to go to Trader Sam's and it's just going to be complete chaos.
Everybody's favorite bar.
Everybody's favorite bar. Everybody wants to go there and Steakhouse 55. We all know it. And then I honestly, deep down, I really wanted to have like a refurbishment happen. So like they're closing it down for a certain period of time because obviously they're not going to have like tons of people staying there at the moment. So they're able to like shut down the hotel and then actually like do a whole refurbishment on the hotel because it's in desperate need. That was like my dream. But I think it's really strange that they're not opening it for their 65th anniversary. It's weird.
Yeah, no, it's very odd. I completely agree, and refurbishment would have been a nice surprise. I totally subscribe to that. Yeah, and it's bizarre that not only was it not in the opening sort of announcement image, it had to be clarified later by Disney because so many people were like, what happened to the Disneyland Hotel? Why aren't you referencing the Disneyland Hotel? What's going on there? Gared, being a former entertainment cast member, I was going to say, yourself, entertainment and characters, much like Walt Disney World, going to be drastically reduced in terms of meet and greets. We are seeing that based on the theme parks that have already opened out in Florida, that entertainment is being utilized in a variety of different ways still, just not in the ways that we are used to. What do you anticipate seeing for Disneyland and California Adventure in terms of entertainment that they will offer?
They're going to have to get really creative, but luckily Disney is the best in the business. I really think that what they're going to do is they might mic up some characters, such as maybe Captain Jack Sparrow's or the pirate that everyone knows now as Red. But there's definitely going to be some kind of social distancing going on. And luckily, when one is a performer, they are exploding with energy. So even if it's a wave, it's so much more than a simple wave. They're waving everywhere. So that way you can truly see the energy and the emotion behind that character. So it's going to be utilized in a very interesting way. Like characters like Groot, like he's so big that he'll be noticed, and I'm sure he can still interact with people in some way. Stitch, him being a big old ball of energy, he can still roll around. I wouldn't be surprised if when people are walking into Main Street, if you see many of the characters on the train station waving and interacting with them as they come in. Truthfully, the thing I want to see is I would love to just mic up Gaston and just have him walk around and have his voice boom all throughout Fantasyland. That sounds like a dream come true to me. But it's going to be a lot of fun to see because from what I've seen of the other theme parks opening, they're doing a good job, but I just know that Disney can add a little bit more pizzazz just because they've been doing it so long and the characters they have are just the most iconic in the world. Like people want to see Mickey Mouse. People don't always want to see Optimus Prime. I apologize to any Optimus Prime lovers, but Mickey Mouse, he can shoot fireworks out of his fingers, man. You can't really beat that. Like, sure, you can say the speech of Optimus, but Mickey Mouse, he go boom, boom, and it's.
Optimus can shoot missiles out of his hands. I mean,
Mickey can literally fight nightmares, man. You can't even compare that.
This is true.
He fights evil.
The mind.
Imagine if the two joined together, the unstoppable force. That would be a new type of Avengers.
I want Optimus ears that goes like he's like. Mickey ears.
I want Optimus Prime to have a cameo in Fantasmic. That would be just.
Wouldn't that be something? Take that, Maleficent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Instead of a sword, you just see Optimus show up with his burning sword that he used in. I haven't seen it.
Can we add John Cena to that as well?
As long as John Cena gets to show up with his spinner belt, I think we're good. Incorporating all of the heroes from our fantasy society. I love this. And producer Curt, Downtown Disney coming back online July the 11th. Assuming that most things get brought back online, I should say, with it. I know that Disney Springs out in Orlando took several attempts, I guess, several iterations before it started to come fully back online and more things started to open up. Opening day was just a handful of things, but assuming that Downtown Disney here in California opens up, is that something that you would make a trip for just to experience, or would you have to have the theme parks too?
I would have to have the theme parks. I live about an hour and a half away from Disneyland, so for me to make a trip out just to basically go to an outdoor mall, even an outdoor Disney mall. I like to have the theme park. Now, if I lived in Orange County, sure, I would definitely go down there. I would experience the time, have some fun. But there's a Void already in Glendale, so if I need to go to Void, I already have a closer one. I have, Sandwich of Earl or whatever. That's not,
or the Earl of Sandwich, if
Yeah.
you will.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
The Sandwich of Earl, is that not?
The Duke of Sandwichville? I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
Duke of Sandwich.
Something like that.
The Wesselton.
Weasel.
Weaselton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, right? So I don't know. For me, I have to have the theme parks too, because the downtown Disney just complements the theme parks for me. So I gotta have both.
Completely understood. And it'll be great to see Disneyland coming back online July 17th, just in time for the big 65th anniversary. I'm sure so much more will be coming out in days leading up to the official kickoff, as more and more policies, more and more procedures get put in place, not just for health and safety, but also for how they are going to manage the chaos. We look forward to hearing that news very soon. All right, Walt Disney World. They are providing updates on resort experiences as well as housekeeping, transportation, dining, you name it. Let's dive into it. This is a big update from Walt Disney World. Might even give us a peek inside what Disneyland might be planning. They say initially with wellness screening, experiencing symptoms of COVID-19, have been in contact with someone with confirmed or suspected COVID-19 symptoms without completing a 14-day quarantine, or are under quarantine orders, must not enter Walt Disney World Resort. Walt Disney World Resort guests may be subject to additional screenings before you leave home. Please check the temperatures of everyone in your party, including yourself, as an extra layer of precaution. If you need to reschedule your reservation, please call the Disney Reservation Center. The next round of changes are really about housekeeping and cleaning. They mention that when it comes to common areas, they've increased cleaning in high traffic areas such as public elevators, escalators, handrails, benches, tables, handles, restrooms, and more. They say for specifically housekeeping at resorts, prior to your arrival, your room will undergo thorough cleaning with attention to high-touch areas like TV remotes and door handles. Housekeeping tools will be cleaned between rooms, and floors, which will be steam cleaned and vacuumed between guests. Inside your room, you'll find extra linens and towels wrapped in a single-use packaging, individually wrapped glassware, double-cased pillows, additional items that have been cleaned up and wrapped in single-use packaging, kind of like your TV remote. And during your stay, your room will receive a light cleaning service every other day, which will include removal of trash and used towels, replenishment of towels and amenities throughout the room and bathroom, and wiping and cleaning of the vanity and counter surfaces, as well as vacuuming if needed. And they also say, please note that if you're a Disney Vacation Club member, using your membership to stay, you'll receive service on the 4th and 8th days, unless you decline that service. And it's if it's more than one room, because sometimes Vacation Club members do have up to multiple rooms or even major suites, and you choose to decline service, your selection will apply to all rooms on the reservation. So let's stop right there, just in terms of hotel, house cleaning, resort type cleanliness. I wonder almost if, many companies are putting out how they're going to enhance cleaning, how they're going to make sure that everything looks good moving forward from a sanitation perspective. Tell me, Tyler, does that give you any sort of reassurance that Disney is making an attempt, at least, to make your stay even safer, even more comfortable in this environment where we still don't have a vaccine, we still don't necessarily have anything to fight this pandemic, but as things start to reopen, they're making these extra steps to try and make you feel a little bit better about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me feel a little bit better. But the thing that I have to say, am I the only one that's like, shouldn't they have just been doing that every time, even
Yes.
before coronavirus, that I was going into a new room? But, it makes me feel a little bit safer. But at the same time, we kind of know at this point, at least from what I've read, that actually touching things doesn't necessarily give you the virus, or it's very hard for you to contract it that way.
Right.
So, it's one of those things where I'm more worried about sharing like central air with people. Like that's what I worry about the most. But they're doing what they can. That's kind of all they can do. What else can they do? They can't just put like crazy virus killing filters on the air. That's just not how it works. So, they're doing what they can, and I would like to go stay at a hotel relatively soon. It's been a while since we've done that, and I miss that sort of thing. And I just real quick, going backwards for a second, I did see Tiki Andy in the chat mention that maybe the reason Disneyland Hotel isn't opening is because they have so many entry points that they wouldn't be able to control, which sounds like a realistic thing. It could be true. So, but anyway, yeah, Disney's doing what they can, and it does make me feel a little bit safer.
Well, and great point, Tiki Andy. Thank you for pointing that out. When it comes to other resort services at the hotels, Disney continues with their descriptions here, saying that some Disney Resort hotel services will be modified or unavailable during the initial phased reopening period based on physical distancing and health guidelines, saying that Bell services will deliver luggage to rooms but will not escort guests. They also say club-level service will be temporarily unavailable, and deliveries will only be made to occupied rooms. In-room celebrations will no longer be available during this phased reopening. So if you were somebody that decided to order in advance, Disney kind of offered like birthday packages, anniversary packages, where they'd come in and decorate your room, do all kinds of special things to add to and enhance your celebration. And they also say dry cleaning and valet laundry services will be temporarily unavailable. Self-service laundry will remain available. Shipping services will be temporarily unavailable, and resort airline check-in service may be temporarily unavailable. Resort airline check-in service for Walt Disney World is a big deal, especially given the fact that Disney's Magical Express is kind of the main way they transport guests to and from Orlando International Airport. Gared, give us an idea as to what Disney's Magical Express is. Share with us a little bit about how that works, and are you surprised at any of these new ways of doing business during this phased reopening?
All right, so I'm going to first start off with what Magical Express is. So if you've ever had the opportunity to travel to the wonderful city of Orlando, if you fly into MCO, which is the international airport, when you arrive, you can do many different things. You can go and rent a car, you can hail an Uber, a taxi, whatever, or you can do Magical Express, which is Disney's sort of bus service that they have to and from the international airport. Before you even get to your resort and you're booking your tickets and reservation online, you can say, oh, I want to do the Magical Express, and they handle just about everything. They get your luggage for you because it has a special tag on it, and then they put it on the bus. Then you go there, you hop on the bus, and it takes you directly from the international airport to your resort. However, there may be stops along the way, like if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, they might hit the Contemporary, and then they might hit, say, the Polynesian Resort, and then finally the Grand Floridian. But it's a great way of, like, your vacation begins with Disney right away. You don't have to begin with going to a rent-a-car or getting gas or getting your bags. Like, it starts automatically with magic. And for many people, when your vacation starts right from there, it just makes it so much more enjoyable, because when you're on there, you're seeing little Disney videos about, like, hey folks, welcome to Walt Disney World. You're gonna experience this, this, and this. Have you checked out Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which still doesn't have any new entertainment? But that's beside the point. But I'm not really surprised at I gotta laugh at Tyler. I'm not surprised about the change that they're making, just because like they're trying to limit exposure. And so some things like the in-room like specialization, like the parties and stuff, that's a little sad. But I also don't think many people will be going to Walt Disney World celebrating that many things. People are just going to be going to celebrate Walt Disney World. If you are going for an anniversary or birthday, you can always do it at a later time when things are more available. So I like that. But some of the other things, like where they do the dry cleaning and stuff, I'm not surprised about that. Wade, what were some other things that are being changed? Because I didn't, because you listed a lot of things.
Yeah, well, thank you for listening. There's definitely a lot happening at Walt Disney World, and we'll continue with the list here. You can always go back and replay this video a little bit later on, Gared, and check it out yourself. But I will tell you that there's also, in addition to those changes, some of the top things that you do need to know when it comes to your Walt Disney World experience. They say that please be aware that you'll also need a confirmed room reservation for your stay. Be sure to link your reservation to your Disney account to receive important information prior to your arrival. Visit My Plans in the My Disney Experience app in order to get started. A confirmed dining reservation is also something that You will need if you are not staying overnight in a hotel. So if hotel dining options are available, you do need a confirmed dining reservation in order to get into that hotel. They also say that face coverings for each guest age 2 and up, which must be worn in all public areas except while swimming or seated for dining, will be in effect. And planning to visit a theme park during your stay would require you to ensure that you have a reservation and valid admission for that park. As a reminder, park hopper tickets where you can jump between parks, that is something that they do not offer during this phased reopening. So single day park tickets have to be utilized with a reservation for a theme park experience. And then if you would like any more information about that, they do encourage you to visit the My Disney Experience app. So a lot of information. I understand that especially drilling down, going spot by spot and trying to figure out each piece of this can be very confusing. It's hard enough to visit Walt Disney World in a normal time, but now here you've got all these extra layers sort of added on top of everything else in addition to a Walt Disney World vacation. So I mean, if it's confusing us, if it's tripping up our Walt Disney World reporter even, we know that it's probably a lot to take on. We know that it's definitely a lot to think about. Am I right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, a lot of pieces. Luckily, I live there, so I don't have to deal with most of it. But yeah, if you are going to go out there during this time of COVID, study up, look at all the different things. Just know nothing is guaranteed now like it used to be. If you're going there and you're getting a hotel, you might not get a ticket. So I would honestly get a ticket before I even get a hotel, because it seems like the tickets are going to be the thing that goes faster, because they have plenty of hotel rooms, but the tickets are limited.
I don't think they're even selling tickets right now, are they?
Yeah, you got to hold off a little bit.
I'm saying like if you are planning later, I would go for the ticket first before getting the hotel, because like say like your area of work goes back into it, and then on that day tickets are going on sale. I could imagine them being sold out within a few hours, just because the demand for Disney World is going to be so high, just because it's been closed for so long. So this is definitely a tricky time to navigate. So proceed with caution, and please keep all hands and arms inside the monorail at all times.
That's a great way to put it. Absolutely. So much to definitely plan for, think about. And we've said many times, as we have been getting those questions of, would you even plan a trip right now for Walt Disney World? Unanimously, we all said no. As of right now, during this phased reopening process, it's probably worth waiting until more things are back online, less restrictions are in place. And I've heard it said many times, it seems almost like Disney doesn't want us to visit. It seems almost like they're making it so complicated that they don't want us there. I doubt very much that a business would ever want to discourage more and more visitors and profits. That's certainly not something that they would want to do. But I bet that they are not crying over the loss of additional attendance and capacity right now, just because this is such a monumental task to take on in reopening the vacation kingdom of the world. All right, my friends, you stick with us. We've got some questions and answers for you coming up next.
Hey, Kingdom team, do you need more magic in your life? We understand, which is why we connect you to more of what makes you happy 3 times a week. Catch our theme park coverage, vlogs, and reviews every Tuesday and Thursday. And experience the Kingdom Report live, streaming every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. That's new content every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, crafted with you in mind. Don't miss out. Be sure to subscribe and activate notifications at The Kingdom Report on YouTube. And catch every update throughout the week at Kingdom Report Live on social media. See you there!
Kingdom team, all call time has arrived, and you know what that means, don't you? Question and answer time. You got questions for us, we've got the answers for you. And our first question comes to us this week from Mark Reiser. Mark asks, hey, with Disneyland reopening theme parks on July 17th, would you feel safe visiting this summer? It is a very important question because there's still so much unknown. There's so much to be concerned about, that's for sure. And guys, this is a far greater question that we're going to cover, I think, even more in depth because there's a lot to talk about here. First and foremost, we did take a poll asking our Kingdom Report audience, hey, do you think that Disneyland reopening on July 17th, is that something that you're interested in? Your thoughts? And 75% you see there says finally, 25% says a little too soon for them, but overwhelmingly, finally, people are excited. We kind of expected that. I mean, this being a diehard Disney fan audience, I mean, who wouldn't want to see their favorite place in the world reopen? But in addition to that, I think it's important to also consider everybody in this equation, and we'll start talking here in just a moment about what cast members are feeling at the Disneyland Resort in terms of returning to the property, as this has now been announced officially, and they know that they, to a big degree, are returning, and only a segment of them to start with, but that many of them are returning. But first, let's get some reactions here. Gared, Disneyland's reopening. Would you feel safe visiting this summer?
For myself, I would. Of course, when it comes to safety, we all take it differently. Some are a little bit more cautious, while some are a little bit more of a daredevil. For myself, like when it comes to swimming, I jump in feet first and submerge myself. So for Disney, their number one concern is always the safety of their guests and cast members. And so from working there and going there all these years, I feel that they're doing the best they can to make this as safe as possible. I know many people won't agree with me, but if I had the opportunity to go opening day, I probably would if I could, just because I miss Disney, and I know that they're doing the best they can to keep it safe. I think they'll be better at enforcing the face masks and social distancing than they may have been in the past at Disney Springs, just because the parks are just so much more important. You're going to have a lot of security walking around, and I think they are going to be on top of everything. Like one of my closest friends, Chris, he was in my college program with me, one of my roommates, he was custodial, and even when I would see him in the parks, he would be working his tail off to make sure everything was clean. He'd be sweeping, wiping down trash cans. He knew what he was doing, and the custodial staff, the housekeeping staff, they are without a doubt some of the hardest working and most dedicated cast members out there. So I think they're making this place clean. What it really comes down to is, are we doing the best we can individually? So that is the big question. But for myself, I would feel safe to visit there, and I plan to as soon as I can, really. But first, I got to get back to work in Florida first.
Sure thing. And personal responsibility, you're right, plays a big factor in all of this. As a place like Disneyland reopens, you bring in all kinds of populations, all kinds of demographics, all kinds of people from all sorts of places who want to come experience that magic. And not everybody sees things the same way. Katrina, are you somebody that would feel comfortable visiting Disneyland this summer?
Not yet. I mean, I think it's too soon. With Orange County just announcing that they're eliminating the whole mask wearing.
They're not requiring masks.
They're not requiring masks anymore in public. So that scares me a little bit, just because in Disneyland, we're all kind of locals, and a lot of the people that show up to Disneyland are people that live like in Orange County and all those areas. So I feel like I'm a little nervous for the cast members who have to be in the front of the line that are in the parks, but then have to deal with people that, in grocery shopping, because they all live kind of nearby, and no one's going to be wearing masks. Everybody goes out to restaurants. No one's going to be wearing masks. We don't even know what how the coronavirus is going to be in the next few weeks to a month, if it's going to spike up again because people in Orange County aren't going to be wearing masks. And it's a little frightening to see that happen. And then you get the people that are going to go to Disneyland not thinking that masks are going to be required because Orange County doesn't require masks. And then you're going to have those kinds of people, those Karens.
And I could see them getting upset at cast members who are trying to get them to follow the rules, and them just saying, well, Orange County doesn't say that I have to. So why, people don't realize that private property is private property, and they can make you do whatever they want. So many businesses say, no shirt, no shoes, no service, and people don't get upset over that. Like, oh, you're taking away my American rights. Like, no, no, that's not the
It's just
case.
cleanliness.
It's just cleanliness. It's just trying to protect one another. And I would just hope that everybody would try and follow the rules. But I think that was a huge problem. I think that's going to be a huge problem. And I can't believe Orange County has done that. It's a little scary.
Yeah. So that's why I wouldn't want to go in the summer, just because we're not ready yet. I think everybody's trying to push for the economy to spike back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And we just don't even know the data yet, with all these riots that happen in California. People are starting to find out that more people are getting coronavirus because of, who knows, because of the riots, because of
Everybody's
the
been together,
protests and stuff, like people being in close proximities. We don't know yet. And so for Disney to open and have these, and like Tyler said, Disney's going to require a mask. OC doesn't require a mask. So if people show up with no mask, Disney is going to be the bad guy and make them wear a mask. And, they're going to hire those, what are they called? The mask enforcing people.
The Corona Squad?
Yeah, the Corona Squad in the parks. And so it's just like, I see that they're going to try to help, but again, I think they're just trying to hire those people to make us feel better.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're really going to be enforcing it. And if someone refuses to wear a mask, they're not going to take them aside and kick them out of the park. They're just going to kind of let them be, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I want to reference that for clarity's sake, the county of Orange that Disneyland resides in did just make an announcement, as this happens to be the first official weekend where the majority of Orange County has reopened out of all of this pandemic madness, and they just took the position of what the state of California takes the position as, and that is they recommend you wear a mask, but they're not saying you have to wear a mask. They're not saying that everybody should be wearing a mask outside. It's a recommendation at this point. And for the sake of all the arguments that you continue to hear when it comes to face masks, this tells you just how together everything is. The World Health Organization website right now, you can go take a look, says that if you are somebody who takes care of someone that has COVID-19 or you're a healthcare worker, then you should wear a mask, but otherwise it's not necessary. You go to the CDC website and it says it's absolutely necessary to ensure that you are not putting other people in danger. So you have these two top health authorities that we're supposed to be looking at in terms of examples, in terms of understanding how to deal with this. In the meantime, they can't agree. And then you have everybody shaming each other for one camp or another. At this point, it's kind of ridiculous on all fronts to be, arguing with each other, to be shaming each other, because this continues to just develop day to day. Things keep changing. We keep hearing now asymptomatic people potentially don't spread it at all. What? We just spent months being terrified that was one of the biggest problems. So there's so much still unfolding about this that, we want to make it very clear. Disney's private property. They can say and do and enforce whatever they'd like to do because it's their property. So if you're somebody that's not comfortable wearing a mask, you don't have to go. You don't need to be there. And you can wait until after those phased reopening restrictions get rescinded. But until then, they require it for anybody that might be 2 years old and older. But Tyler, summertime, the question is, would you feel comfortable going back to Disneyland? Would you feel safe?
I'm not going to feel safe in the first couple of weeks probably, but I think, hopefully after I see how things go and if things seem to be going okay, then I would take a look. It's kind of too early for me to tell right now. I wouldn't go in the beginning week or two, definitely not, but possibly once I see how things are handled. And I think Gared hit the nail on the head with his last point that he made, which is Disney can be as safe as they want to be, but it's not Disney that I'm worried about. It's the other people that are there. It's Disney is going to do their best, sure, but at the same time, they're a hospitality company. That's their job. To enforce rules like this is going against kind of what they stand for in a lot of ways. So that's the area that I'm not really trusting Disney in. I don't think they're going to really enforce the rules as hard as they should. And I really think there needs to be severe consequences for not enforcing the rule or for not obeying the rules, because otherwise people are just going to run all over them, because that's kind of what a lot of Southern Californians have learned, that they can kind of take advantage of hospitality and the kindness of Disney and the cast members, because they'll bend over backwards to make your day special. And so I think a lot of people have kind of learned that that's what they can kind of take advantage of that, unfortunately. But, you know, going back to the mask thing, if there was like a 0.1% chance that I could stop the virus from spreading because I was wearing a mask, then I would still do it. Mm-hmm. Like, and the thing that I don't understand is the people who just won't do it, just refuse to do it, because it just really shows how selfish you are, in my opinion. It just suck it up. Let's be kind to one another. If it was like a normal day and you were dealing with any other fellow human, you would try and be kind and courteous to them. And I feel like wearing a mask is the easiest way to be kind and courteous to one another. So let's just do it. It's really not that difficult.
It's like the whole pay it forward thing, right? People like to show off that they paid it forward, bought somebody coffee or something. Just pay it forward and wear your mask, because these cast members work every single day on hours they don't really want to do because Disney kind of like holds them hostage and says, okay, these are the hours. Oh, we're expanding hours. You kind of have to work these. And if you don't, it's kind of like dinged against you. So people have to work those hours, and they're going to be there for 10-hour days. And if you don't wear a mask, you could be that one person that possibly gets them sick, you know, and like, just do it for the cast members to bring on the magic, you know?
Yeah. And you know, you're not, I don't want to, I'm going to stop after this, but you're not being a cool protester or anything like that by not wearing your mask. You're not showing anybody who's boss. You're just kind of being a not nice person, in my opinion. So we made that
PG for you.
Yeah. I tried to settle that down because it kind of fires me up a little bit, to be honest. But anyway, yeah, I'm not that interested in going the first couple weeks, but we'll see how things go.
Definitely so. And something that we've seen develop in the last week since the announcement of the reopening of Disneyland is that there is now a petition circulating, change.org petition, that is discussing whether or not Disneyland should reopen on the basis of health and safety, even calling Disneyland selfish and greedy within the petition itself. And that is circulating and has tens of thousands of signatures at this point. Do you guys think that I didn't see any reaction like this with Disney World, which I think is worth noting, but we're seeing it with Disneyland. People are feeling very strongly about Disneyland reopening. Gared, do you think that this is going to have any effect, this petition is going to have any effect on whether or not Disney decides to reopen the theme parks after all on the West Coast?
I really don't. Not because people's voices aren't valued. It's just because right now there's a big push to, you know, restart the economy, and there's a big push from a lot of, I think the people that are in favor of Disney reopening outweigh the people that don't want it to reopen. And that's just because people want the magic. People want to have that sense of wonder and to feel like a kid again. And also Disney provides that safety, that you escape from the world that you are in and get to enter a world of fantasy and imagination. So people want Disney for that escape. So this petition, I'm not surprised. There's usually a petition about everything nowadays, but I hope that this won't stop Disney, because I know Disney's doing everything they can to promote the safety and health of their facilities, and Disney cares about people. But if they get enough backlash, they would back off, I think. But I don't think they're going to get enough that makes them be like, hey, we really should stop. I think Disney's going to get nothing but support overall, especially from the unions. The unions are going to support them hands down to get their people working. So it's sad that there's a petition, but you know what? People are allowed to do that. So I say keep on trucking on Disney, and they'll know what to do because they know what to do.
Well, health and safety measures are being put in place by the union, various unions, I should say, plural, multiple unions that are already speaking to their cast members about the return, sharing how health and safety matters are going to be taken in a very delicate way, and more sort of ways in which the company can be safer with their cast members and hopefully help their cast members do their job in a way that won't get them sick necessarily and will help prevent any sort of potential exposure. Something that we did, though, as the Kingdom Report, is we reached out to several cast members and asked specifically, do you feel comfortable returning? Do you think that July 17th is too soon? And we received lots of feedback, and this is certainly not all of it. There's only so much time that we have here to cover it, but the first being from a frontline cast member who says, I honestly don't feel safe if we open. It has placed a difficult conversation about, am I willing to risk my health or my family's health just so I can put food on the table or a roof over my head? How can I confidently say I will be able to deliver that magic, that hope that people want when this looms over my head? And certainly one of those shared opinions that I saw over and over again as we were reaching out to individual cast members looking for that feedback and how they're feeling about the reopening. We got some other words here from a frontline cast member who also said, I'm ready to just have my job back and have something to do. Am I nervous? Yeah, a little bit, especially with the recent news that there's been a spike in cases. I'm just hoping that Disney has great training in place for its cast and that we all focus on the first key, which is safety, before anything else. I also hope that guests understand Disney's new rules and follow them so that I don't have to be the villain. I think that goes to what a lot of us have said, that idea that, we're more concerned about the other person that we're visiting Disneyland with, not necessarily the experience itself, but the people that we're visiting with, because you never know who's going to try and challenge and push back and just be difficult to be difficult sometimes, and cast members are going to have to be the villain in that regard, and that's really unfortunate. Finally, some
people love Disney villains.
Very clever.
Sorry.
Anyway. Some of the final remarks that we have here from a different cast member says that even with increased precautions and a reduced crowd, there's no guarantee that guests will follow those precautions, and we lack the capacity to effectively enforce anything. Tyler, this goes back to kind of what you were saying. They say that any cast member can tell you a dozen stories about guests who refuse to follow safety protocols because they, quote, paid to be here, end quote. Why would we expect anything different with even higher safety requirements? I can tell you that being a Disney leader for over a decade and somebody that worked in the Disney parks and worked as a frontline person, enforcement does lack to a certain degree, especially when you're handling people who get irate or very upset or very aggressive, because Disney's not in the enforcement business. We've talked about this before. That's not who they are. That's not what they do. They're in the hospitality business. They're here to make magic for people. And so creating this environment where now cast members have to become a virtual enforcement arm of creating an environment where people have to follow new policies and orders all the time that probably several won't want to do, creates undue stress and definitely a lot more pressure on cast members who are coming back to work. So this certainly is not reflective of everything that we heard from cast members. Again, there's only so much time that we have, but we did hear over and over again that the general consensus seems to be it feels too soon for Disneyland to reopen. But we also did hear on the flip side some very valid points in that there are some people saying if all of this has to take place in order for Disneyland to open, right? If all these restrictions have to be put in place, if all of these new enforcement mechanisms have to be put in place, and we're reopening without a lot of the original experience, why are we reopening? Why are we doing it? And originally, I hadn't necessarily considered that. And I came across a quote shortly after I read that from a cast member that was from Walt Disney. And he said, a place like Disneyland is dedicated to being an environment where no guest can see the outside world. I don't want them to think about the outside world when they're here. And if you're bringing the outside world with you to a certain degree, with all of these new limitations and policies and restrictions, and you're being reminded of that throughout your experience, right? The real world is seeping in because it has to, then maybe they're right. I'm all for Disneyland reopening. I'm all for the parks coming back online. But if it's at the expense of the overall experience and you're just being reminded of so much from the outside, I don't know if it's necessarily something that is going to be beneficial long term and might just create more unnecessary friction than there needs to be. Producer Curt, let's give you the last word here. There's a lot of feelings about Disneyland reopening on July 17th. Are you going to feel safe returning this summer?
Well, I pretty much already have a plan of going towards the end of July, early August.
Okay.
I'm so tired of all this doom and gloom. I know it sucks, but like I just need to experience some kind of happiness, some kind of fun. I'll wear a full hazmat suit if they want me to. I will adhere to the rules and everything, and I do hope that everyone else does the same. Because we're all in this together, Wade.
I've heard that.
Yeah, have you heard that before?
I've heard that
saying?
a time or two during this process. Yeah,
because we are.
Because we are.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll pretty much do any rule regulation. I just want a little bit of that magic back for just a little while. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go every day, but I want to go back. Restricted hours, anything, just experience some of that magic for a little bit. You know. I want some fun.
You do, and some beignets.
Yeah, and beignets, Mickey beignets.
Absolutely. So you got a trip planned. No matter what camp you're in, no matter what situation you find yourself in terms of planning a trip or feeling that it's just too soon, as Tyler had mentioned, let's just be decent human beings with each other. There's a lot of reason to be divided nowadays, and this seems like a silly thing to be divided over. Let's be respectful of one another, and certainly let's look at each other as an outlet for coming together, an outlet for unity, an outlet for agreeing that the magic of Disney is not an enemy here, that if anything, we've all missed it. We're happy to see it again, even if it is a limited capacity, but doing the right thing by each other is even more important nowadays. We appreciate you so much, Mark, for sending in your question. Next question comes to us from Daisy Meets Donald. Daisy asks, what are some of the best ways to relax while on vacation at Walt Disney World? Tell me, Katrina, the relaxing queen.
Oh, I love relaxing.
How do you relax?
Okay, so the best ways to relax, grab a drink, hang out, enjoy the view of something that makes you happy. I mean, when at Disney World, there was like one time where Tyler and I rented like a pontoon boat. Is that what it's called? Pontoon boat. And that was probably the most relaxing time I've actually I always love enjoying Disney World, but you escape from the crowd and you're able to rent a pontoon boat at the Polynesian or at the Grand Floridian. And you just hop on a boat, you and your loved ones. You can just, Tyler and I, you and your hubby, whatever, hop on there. You can drive around the lake, and then you can kind of like get near Magic Kingdom and kind of enjoy it from afar. And then you can kind of like park it off to the side where you can see the Contemporary, and then you can see the monorail go in the Contemporary and make its rounds, and just kind of just enjoy the, just like the view. And then you can see like the Polynesian, the Grand Floridian from afar. And then it's one of those cool things that you can just kind of enjoy the scenery versus, rushing to fast pass, or, rushing to get to a dining reservation or something. And then, I love grabbing a drink. I like the scenery and stuff at the Trader Sam's, especially like at firework night. And they're not going to do fireworks anytime soon, but just keep it in mind. So if you grab a drink over at the Polynesian or at like Trader Sam's, sit outside around the firework time, and you can have like the best view of the fireworks by Trader Sam's.
And they pump in the music too.
And they pipe in the music too, which is even better. So you don't have to worry about the crowds, hustle and bustling, trying to get out of the park before the fireworks are over to get the monorail. It's just like one of those relaxing moments.
You're a Trader Sam's gal from coast to coast, aren't you?
I am. I thought Disneyland has better ones, but I still like the atmosphere of seeing the fireworks from afar, because the fireworks, they gave me a little panicky at Disney World because everybody's just like pushing and shoving, and I like to sit back and watch it.
Yeah, keep that distance. Tyler, you got any different relaxing traits that you like to experience or put into effect?
Yeah, this is still kind of among the hustle and bustle, but for me, like a relaxing day in a lot of ways is just going to Epcot and kind of going around the world and, just whatever you feel like trying it, try, like, especially during a festival or something. And going around to each country, maybe getting a drink and having like some food from one of the booths or something. I think that is some of my most relaxing days. And they have, oh gosh, now I'm blanking on, in Mexico, it's Cava del Tequila. Is that what it is? Yeah. I think that place is really relaxing, especially when you're like just so freaking sweaty from being outside all day and you sit down and
rain.
Or it's pouring rain and you just get your margarita and have some like chips and guacamole. And it's just got this beautiful like mural on the wall. Those are the first couple that spring to mind for me. Really, I feel like when I'm going to Epcot, I'm less about like, okay, we got to get on Soarin' and we got to go do Figment. I don't know why we have to do it, but we got to. And then, and so to me, like just going there to kind of enjoy yourself at one of the festivals can feel like almost like a picnic day in a way. Like you're just kind of enjoying some food on top of a nice trash can. And yeah, that's what comes to mind for me when it comes to relaxing.
Trash can eating.
Oh yeah,
nothing better.
We classy.
Hey, if it's good for the raccoons, it's good for me.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, you know what? You're at the same level. I completely understand. You, your raccoon friends, everybody's equal at Disney World. And Curt, producer Curt, you're a Disney World tripper yourself. How do you relax when you're out there with the wifey?
We kind of like to park hop. Or not park hop, hotel hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's a difference there.
Yes.
So we like to just go around to the different hotels, relax, pretend we're staying at the Grand Floridian, for a bit, but all crazy. But just relax, just not think about doing anything, just kind of wing it. Stay by the pool, enjoy myself for a bit, get a drink or something. Just relaxing for me is nothing planned. Let's just go with the flow and have fun, because you're going from fast pass to fast pass all the time. You got to get this reservation in. You got to do this. You got to make sure your Disney vacation is the best it can be, right, at all times. And you got to pack everything in. I like to plan a day where let's just wing it.
So you have a dedicated day,
correct,
to just
where we don't have anything planned. We'll go to Downtown Disney if we feel like, or Disney Springs. I'm sorry, and we'll just do whatever. Nothing is planned for that relaxation day.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to have those breaks, especially if you have a long trip. A relaxation day is critical, and I know that whenever I visit with people that might be of a different age, I tend to incorporate just a free day, just in the middle, so that, especially because I don't think many people are used to walking, 10, 15, 20 miles a day based on the parks and based on all the atmosphere that you're in. You're exhausted all the time, and you wake up early because you want to hit those rope drops, and you're up late because you want to see those big shows. And so Disney World, at least in its former iteration, is something that you need those relaxation days. Gared Hassel, our Walt Disney World reporter, you're a local. You're somebody that knows Disney World inside and out. How do you relax when you're around the theme parks and resorts? What do you do?
So that's typically what I do more so than anything else. Like there are many times where I'll get off of a shift at work and then I'll go enjoy my evening at Walt Disney World. I have a couple things that are very popular, but hopefully it's a new discovery for some. So one thing, my girlfriend and I, Ariel, what we love to do is her favorite resort is the beach club. And so many times we will get into the beach club and we can sit on the beach and we'll just look at the beautiful lights of the boardwalk resort across the water. That's one thing that's really nice, just because it makes you feel like you're at a beach, but I don't know, it transports you to another time. Another thing is, a while back I did a vlog of what the boardwalk is, and I love just strolling along the boardwalk, listening to the entertainment and the music and the people laughing. It's a great time to just people watch, and it's very soothing and calming. But Probably my favorite thing to do is in the park. I love to go to Pandora, the world of Avatar, and Animal Kingdom at night, because that is where it truly comes to life, and it's very calming with the bioluminescence and the whole area coming to life, because you're on another planet after all, and it's just relaxing because you've left Earth. You've left Earth, and so all you can do is sit back, relax. Those earthly problems can't bother you. You just have to listen to the sounds and sights of Pandora and just become one of the people of the Na'vi.
Being
Steve
the
Valko.
Na'vi.
Yeah, Steve Valko, rise to the challenge and fly.
And that. Yes. I appreciate everybody's contributions to how they relax. I'll tell you that one of the things that I know I'm on vacation. I know I'm enjoying myself. I know that it's a pleasant way to just sort of unwind is much like Gared, near the boardwalk there, Crescent Lake, where so many of the Epcot resorts sort of reside around. I absolutely adore stopping off on the white sand beaches there, pulling up a lawn chair and just reclining and enjoying the scenery. There's no greater way, and you don't have to be staying there to pull up on the white sand beach and just enjoy the scenery, but it's absolutely a delightful treat. It's so calming, and it's something that I do every time I'm at Walt Disney World, just to take it all in and realize that I'm in the heart of the magic. And then I would say the other thing is, and I started doing this not even realizing it, but I started to realize why I was doing it. It was because there was peace in it, and it was comforting, and it was really nice. Occasionally when I'm on Disney World trips solo, I will go to the earliest possible seating for a breakfast at a resort. And typically if you do that, because some resorts will be 7 a.m., 7:30, depending on when they open and what their dining environment is like. If you're willing to get up that early, a lot of people aren't on vacation, but if you're willing to get up that early and be sort of the first in line for breakfast, there's really nobody else in the restaurant. All the attention's on you. Your server treats you very well, and you get to absorb the details and the fine beauty that Disney puts into all these environments that otherwise you would just be sort of hurried along and worried about getting to the next big thing and trying to get to that fast pass and a park opening. If you can get to that earliest seating, there's so much relaxation that comes with that. There's so much peace that comes with an early seating for a Disney World breakfast. So much like Ron Swanson, there's nothing that breakfast food cannot cure for me, and so I practice that every day, including my Walt Disney World trips. At any rate, we appreciate you so much for sending in that question. It's just some of the ways we relax while at Walt Disney World. All right, my friends, you stick around. We close up shop next.
Do you know everything the ghost host is going to say before he says it? Are you ready to thank the Venetians each time you board Spaceship Earth? Can you recite Walt's opening day dedication speech? Then join the Kingdom team today, the influential legacy fan community featuring exclusive merchandise that will alert all who've come to this happy place that you are more than just another guest. You are a trusted theme park fan. Don't miss out. Join the Kingdom team right now by visiting the homepage at kingdomreportlive.com. That's kingdomreportlive.com. And now, back to the magic.
As we start to close things up, we take that live look outside at the Disneyland Resort Anaheim Resort area there via the hojoanaheim.com webcam. You can access this at any time by visiting that website and checking out the sights and sounds of Disneyland. Even though we can't physically be there, it is so nice to be able to use this digitally to take a peek on into the resort. And you see the Esplanade there, the area between the two theme parks, desolate, quiet as it should be, soon to be filled with people come July the 17th. Well, my friends, as we wrap things up, we'll take one last jaunt across the country, check in with everybody, and see if there are any closing notes for us, beginning with Gared Hassel. Gared, you got anything for us?
Yeah, main thing is just, of course, stay safe, everyone. Stay active, be healthy, be the best you that you can be. And if you're ever bored, you can, watch some YouTube videos of when Disney was open, of Wade and I running through the parks. That's always fun. But no, most of all, I just want to say hugs and not drugs, and can't wait to hang out with you guys next Saturday.
We appreciate that Nancy Reagan message each and every week, sir. Tyler, Katrina, anything to wrap us up with?
No, I mean, basically what Gared said. Just let's be kind to one another and like be safe. And I know everybody's antsy to get out and do things, and I'm not saying we shouldn't get out and do things, but I'm just saying we need to be, cautious and safe about it. And yeah, it's been fun doing the show with you guys today, and can't wait to do it again next week.
Likewise.
Well, we appreciate that. Gared, final note.
Yeah, happy Father's Day tomorrow.
Yay! Happy Papa's Day.
Happy Father's Day. I know occasionally my dad watches the show, so Dad, love you. Hope you're doing well on Santa Cruz. Would love to come out and visit, but I'm kind of stuck in the cornfields of good old Nebraska. But happy Father's Day to all those fathers, stepfathers, uncles, grandpas, everyone that is a father figure. Thank you for
Father's Day is next week.
Oh, my bad. Well, whatever.
I was gonna say, I thought it was next week.
I don't like this show anymore. You guys are nothing but mean because I don't pay attention to stuff.
He's so well educated. It's
I was like, it's not my nephew's birthday yet.
Oh, well, know what? On that account, happy what's tomorrow?
Happy day.
Happy day for Sunday.
Happy Sunday. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, we don't fact check Gared around here very often, but when we do, we get them each and every time. It is so wonderful to know that you tune in each and every week, every Saturday here at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific for Kingdom Report Live. You get true magic with people like Gared Hassel when he gets to not only not listen to what I'm saying, as I go through segments, but contribute great gems like that will certainly be a part of our highlight reel moving forward. So if you are somebody that wants to get in touch with us, KingdomReportLive.com or at Kingdom Report Live on social media, please let us know what you're thinking, how you're feeling, especially when it comes to returning to the parks in Walt Disney World or Disneyland. Very interested to hear your take in all of this. And remember that the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me. We will see you next Saturday.